What's up, guys? Zach Sharp here with another analytics tutorial. It's a beautiful day out, so I thought I would take the opportunity to show you guys some of the dashboards I've previously made so that you can see the capabilities and understand how they'll better benefit your business. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into this video.
So the first dashboard that we have here is, as we can see in the top left-hand corner, a social media sales metrics. And this is for a previous social media client that I worked with. They work with a lot of different influencers and brands and sell different products and help the influencers and brands sell products. And so what we've got here is just a simple breakout of the sales by month, sales over time. And what we can see is we've got this right now going from June 2020 all the way to June of 2021. So an entire year just about we're looking at. And we've got a couple of different breakdowns here. The first being the breakout of revenue and revenue percentage and volume by the different customer types, being new customers and returning customers. The other two things we've got to note here are a scorecard showing you your average order value and another one showing you your total sales for the period. Now, one thing I want to call out here is that if I come up here to the right and click this edit icon again, what we can see down here is that average order value is in blue. That's because it's a field that I actually created. So if I click on this just quickly, we can see that this is actually a field I created. So it's sale price divided by the record count. And that record count is just telling you how many units were sold, which allows us to get to that average order value. So it's a field that we created, and that's one of the functionalities of Google Data Studio. When you connect a data set, you don't have to just go with the fields that you already have. It actually allows you to, gives you the functionality and the capability to create your own fields if you need to. So average order value is one that we created because I knew that the customer wanted to see that. I'm gonna come back over here to the view icon, close this out. And let's just say we wanted to see kind of the capabilities of this, and if we wanted to drill this down a little bit. So what I'm going to do is select a date range, and maybe I just want to see the first week of June. So I'll come over here and update this 2021 June, and I want to see the first full week of June. So the 6th, make sure that we have data for the 6th June, and then we'll click over and see that for the 12th. We'll apply that, let this update. And what we can see that is that all of these charts have updated. The only chart that has not updated actually is the average order value. So what I'm going to do again is click up here in the icon and to the edit icon, click on this scorecard. I'm going to move my face just quickly. And what I'm going to do is actually drag this date over to date range dimensions. And as we can see, that allows the average order value scorecard to now to update. And that's exactly how you would do that if you were going to build out your own dashboard. So again, coming back over here to the view so that we can see what my audience would see, closing this out. And we can see that all of these charts have now updated to show me the data for only the first week of June. If I want to come here and change that and maybe just see the 13th, we get an error message right now, which is telling us the end date is earlier than the start date. That's because I previously had the 12th selected. So I'm going to move my face one more time, select the 19th, click apply. And now we can see that everything has updated to show us again that specific date range that I've selected here being June 13th, 2021 to June 19th, 2021. Popping over into the next dashboard that was created. Now this one is actually one that I worked with in a previous tutorial. So if you'd like to go back, make sure that you check out the Global Superstores tutorial where I actually built out this dashboard and showed you how to use it for yourself. If we're just quickly looking through this, again, we've got a breakdown here of the profit by each of the products for the time period that is selected, which is just going to be January 2011 to December 2014, end of December 2014. So that's a 4-year period there. What we can see here is that we've also got this drilled down right now. So we're specifically looking at only the US. If we look at the states, we're only looking at Georgia. And getting even more specific, we are only looking at Atlanta right now. If I want to update this and show my sales for all the data, I would just come here and allow this to update. And now we can see that my profit over time chart has updated. It's a little hard to read now, but what we can see is that it looks like you had your best sales, best profits right here in that September, the end of September 2013. And maybe we want to drill into that to see how things were. So let's come over here to September. Date that. And we'll just say, let's say we want to see that last week of September, the last little period there of September 2013. We can see we had a huge spike right there on the 30th. However, if we look at our scorecards, we can see that sales are down. So again, I'm going to come over here and I'm actually going to click on the scorecard to see what the comparison is that we are comparing this to. And it looks like the comparison date range for this, we are comparing that last week of September. You had about 91,000, 92,000 in sales. Your shipping costs were just under 10,000. You took home a profit of almost 2.5. But this is being compared to the entire year of 2011, which would explain why why all of our comparison dates are so far down. If we're comparing a little bit more than a week to an entire year, we would hope that sales are significantly down. Hopefully, you didn't make all of your money in 2013 in that last week of September. However, if you did, I guess you had a very strong September. But overall, that's the functionality of this dashboard. That's how you would drill down and look at it and use it for yourself. Come back over here to the view so that we can see what the audience sees. And moving into the next dashboard, what we've got here is one that I created for an Amazon seller. And what we can see right off the bat is we've got a huge scorecard here that is showing the profit overall. We can drill this down to see specific products, and we can also drill this down to see specific suppliers, so where this Amazon seller was getting their products. Again, we've got a quick breakdown here for the different suppliers to see the profit by supplier, as well as a chart here that's showing you for each of your suppliers how many units you're buying. And down here, we've also got the profit broken out by the different weeks so that we can see which weeks were the most profitable for the seller, which will allow them to drill down and see what they sold for those given weeks, giving them an idea of how to stock their inventory moving forward. If we click over to the next page, what we can see is we've got two scorecards, one showing you your return, your ROI, and that's compared to a specific date range being the previous period, so just the previous week, because right now what we're looking at is August 1st to August, so it's going to be comparing you to the previous month because we've got August 1st to August 31st, so the entire month of August. We've also got the profit margin comparison, which is giving you the exact same period comparison. And down here we've got a chart which is showing you your cost of goods, your gross profit, and your cost of goods, your gross revenue, and your profit over time for the month of August. One thing I want to point out here again is that we've got this date range filter, which will allow us to drill down to a specific week. So if we wanted to see that second week of August, we would just come, select the dates, choose apply, and we can see these charts updated. And one thing to note here is that this specific date range filter actually applies to all of the pages in this dashboard. So if we come back here to this first page, we can actually see that our profit has updated. We can see that all of these numbers, all of these charts have updated as well. And now we are only showing the 2 weeks because again, we've only selected 2 weeks here. And so that would be the functionality of this dashboard. Again, I actually built this dashboard out in a previous tutorial. So if you'd like to learn more about this dashboard specifically, make sure you check out my earlier video where I'm building out the Amazon FBA seller dashboard using Inventory Lab data. And lastly, coming over here, I've got a dummy dashboard that I created just specifically for this video so that I can walk you guys through a couple more of the functionalities that Google Data Studio provides when building out dashboards. What we can see is we've got shoppers and the store metrics for each of the different shoppers. So right now I've got one shopper selected. What we can see here is we've got a scorecard in the top right, which is showing you the number of items that that shopper has purchased. We can also see how the breakdown of those purchases went from each of the different suppliers. So Ross, I'm not even going to try to say this name, but Burlington, Kipling, and Timberland. If we wanted to update this to maybe see how different shoppers compare, what I can do is come down here and instead of choosing Jake, we'll say Adam, and we will choose Stacy, deselect Jake. And what we can see is Adam has made many more purchases than Stacy. The total for those two together is going to be just under 34,000. And what we can see here is the number of item breakdowns, and we can see the suppliers. Again, Ross, we see beats out all of the rest significantly. And what this may tell the owner of this business is, hey, you may want to allocate more of your budget towards Ross because it looks like that's where the majority of your good products is found. That's where you may want to send your sellers because it seems like that's where you're finding a good bit of your inventory. You may want to keep your stock coming primarily from Ross. But all in all, this is how the dashboards work. If you want to find out how to build these for yourself, you can either reach out to me specifically. I've got a link in the description if you want to work with me. You can also make sure that you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and follow me on Instagram for the latest tips, tricks, and tutorials for Google Data Studio, Microsoft Excel, and Google Sheets. But all in all, this is how Google Data Studio works. Again, I'll be putting out new tutorials every week. Thank you for checking out this video. Hope you learned something.